Hold on, ma. I'm good, ma. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? They don't want us to be great tonight. Problem after problem. All right, Real Sports Fan Podcast coming to y'all a different way. Zoom didn't want us to be great tonight, so I'm waiting for Logan Middleton to come on. Single season touchdown record holder, 2020 graduate. Great young man. We've been talking the last hour while we've been getting this worked out. So just wait for him to jump on here. We're going to try to improvise and go forward. POV, what's good, bro? Cross your fingers.
There we go.
You good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Finally.
You can hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You ain't coming through. Yeah, you ain't coming through my ears, but it's all good. Well, I ain't even gonna play with that, cause that's good enough. We've been through the ringer, man. We've been through the ringer, man. I appreciate your patience,
Ain't that
man.
the truth? Oh, you're good.
Yeah, man. This is how we're gonna start. First and foremost, this is a Real Sports Fan Podcast, Season 3, Episode 37. Like I said, the enemy wanted to be great tonight, man. I got Logan Middleton live tonight. We first started at 7. We've been talking since about 6:45. We've been on the phone talking, and I done learned a lot about the young man. So I appreciate him jumping on here tonight, and we're gonna do it like this tonight and see what goes on. They must know the season getting ready to end. We done had some issues, man. But Logan, first and foremost, how you doing, man? With everything going on, COVID and everything, how are you and the family?
Man, we're great. Every step at a time, having to follow the social distancing, rules and stuff like that. So, but overall, we're great. About to move into a house Thursday, so can't wait for that. But everything's
Man,
going
that's
great.
a blessing, man.
Yeah, blessed.
Congratulations. That's a blessing, man. Like I said, your mom's an awesome person. She reached out to me a couple months back. I definitely wanted to make sure that I got you on here. I'm a fan of yours. Like I said, I first found out. I first seen you play 11th grade basketball, not knowing you played football and also baseball. And obviously, as I said earlier, you broke the single season touchdown record for receptions at CSD. So that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Um, what's your everyday college life like now? Because obviously, like you say, you're a student athlete. On top of that, like you say, you're trying to social distance. You got your schoolwork. So just tell me kind of like daily, kind of how your routine and all the things you got going on right now.
Well, it depends on the day for one, about when I have class, which is at 9 o'clock, and usually, if I have morning, we'll go for practice days in the morning. So wake up around 6. Oh, eat a Pop-Tart, get a Gatorade, water, stuff like that. Go out to the field, put the hard work in, come back, go to class. After class, go lift, then go run the bleachers and track, then come back and do homework and start all over again. Continue to eat and sleep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. And like you said, routine. As long as you keep that steady routine, you'll be fine. Like you said, I know sometimes it might, it's early in your college life right now, but as long as you keep at that, man, like you said, sky's the limit. So keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, right now you're not playing. It's not a season right now, but from what I understand, you guys are practicing and you're getting ready for the spring. Tell me a little bit about the season and preparation and everything like that.
So, the coaches do a great job at, keeping us social distancing while still getting us able conditioning for the season. It's just everything, wear a mask, 6 feet apart, different types of groups, to actually like get that work in and stuff like that, like we always want. And, I've done a great job of doing it. So, yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Let's go back. Let's go back in time a little bit. For people that don't know, you're at McDaniel College on a football scholarship. Like you said, 2020 graduate of CSD and a three-sport athlete. And one thing I always tell people is you didn't play three sports. You were great at three sports. You don't have to say it, but I'll say it for you because being a three-sport athlete is tough. And you excelled at basketball, at football, and at baseball. So tell me, just as a kid, how did that start? Where did that start? Was it a one sport you fell in love with first? Was it a certain person that put the ball in your hand? How did that start?
So, big thanks to my grandfather and my uncle. So, them two are what introduced me to baseball from following after my uncle's footsteps as a baseball player, which going to Chesapeake, Salisbury, to play baseball and always being a pitcher, which always wanted me to be like him, since that's one of my biggest role models. And, he played basketball as well for CAC, but, height difference got me on there. So, but going from baseball, always going out there, from football, playing, with my little brother and my grandfather every day in the front yard. Then basketball on the pavement with stones, by the way. It's not like real pavement, it's on stones. So the ball kept going flat.
Yeah.
And what kind of got my competitive edge and my willingness was because of my uncle, honestly, and my grandfather, because I'd be like 5 years old, 6 years old, and I'd go up for a layup, and he would just block it to the trees every single time. And his number one remark was, "It's like, you want to be better, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was crying at the time because I'm mad because he just beat my shot. So I'm like, wow, okay, you humiliated me in front of everybody, but as time realized, he created that. I feel as if I'm only as good as what I was taught. Instead of going off of my skills and stuff like that, I went off of what they told me and what they showed me. That brought the edge to it, was to make sure I made them, especially them two, proud, other than, my mom is always, my brother, sister, grandmother, a whole family, friends, everything like that. But it was really to make them two proud, to show after their sports back when their eras were, to be just like them. But the thing is, instead, something always with football clicked to me. I enjoyed basketball from playing with everybody, CSD, with Marty, Coach Burns, all of that. Football really got to me because how the match of coming out of the goalpost in front of all your family and friends and everyone in the hotel is completely unmatched. And the lights, everything. Because no one understands how hard we actually work from Monday to Thursday to get to Friday, and what we do for the weekend to get right back to start right over. Basketball is the same thing. I told you before, like, all my coaches really inspired me to build me as a man today, and players as well, such as like Coach Parker, Coach Coleman, Coach Ote, which got me from ND my 8th grade year and told me, put me in the thing with older people to develop my skill as well and to learn after them, for me to either be good on the field and as a man. And it goes from Coach Bailey, which is one of my favorite coaches. He was one of the ones that actually, as I told you before, I had more of a hothead in high school towards the earlier, and he broke it out of me. As Coach Beasley too. They said you can't, if you want to elevate as a player and as a man, you can't let little things get to you. You got to let it go. Construct things other than getting my everything right for my football body, mentally and physically. It was the constructive criticism part. And I'm a man to admit it that I didn't take constructive criticism very well. I thought it was just getting on me for a reason. And that developed me as well, and honestly developed more of a competitive edge that I do every time. When I put from my basketball shoes to putting my baseball pants on and my glove to putting my gloves on and my pants and my helmet on, I sit and think back of what got me here. Not about, I'm about to go play in front of all these people and look cool, everything. It's what put me here. The people that put everything into me is what got me here. So in much as that I get the record and everything like that, the big thanks is to them. That's their record, in my opinion. That's their
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
accomplishments. Without them showing me that, I don't even know if I would have picked up sports in the first place, honestly.
That's well said, man. That's well said, and that's kind of like what I was saying. You know, like I said, we had a real good conversation. You know, offline. You know, real good conversation. We got to learn a lot about each other while we were having the technical difficulties, and that's one thing I said to you was that I can tell that you have a very strong foundation. You know, you have a very, you know, like I said, I met your mom a little bit. She sent me a nice message. I know some of your family. I can tell the support you have, you know, just from comments and stuff like that. But like you said, man, that goes a long way. When you got people in your corner that's going to support you, no matter, you know, not just talking about sports, but with life. You know, you can always count on mom. You can always count on, you know, a friend or a family member. You know, so that's good. That's good. And one thing that you said, and I want you to elaborate a little, because I've heard this about you, whether it was Coach Marty I talked to, or your mom, or even some of the comments I've seen, is that one thing you do more than by anybody is you're a hard worker. You work hard. So, you know, tell me a little bit more about where that hard work came from. I know you told me about, you know, your uncle, and I like hearing the stories about him blocking a shot, because sometimes when kids are younger, we want to let them score. You know, we want to, you know, we want to let them feel good, and you know, people say, well, let
I
them
was
score. But yeah,
I'm
yeah,
known
talk
for
about
being a
that.
3-point.
Yeah,
Well, to touch
yeah.
on that, I'm known for being a 3-point shooter, and that's why, because he couldn't touch me out there because I was so far away from him, honestly. So to get what got me to be a hard worker, and like from you took like going from like my dog mentality to like my heart.
Yeah,
Can I tell you what, like, is it okay if I tell you what my biggest motivational was?
sure,
Like
sure.
as growing out, as some I don't my biggest thing was, it wasn't to make him hate me or make him proud, but make him notice. You know what I mean? So that gave it a lot. And for everybody that, it's for it's not, I know it's just for me, but it's for a lot of people from back home, from everything. I come back and have nothing but praise. So from everything to me working out to me going on the field, that's all I think about. It's not about, am I ready to look good with the sleeves on and the pads for, everybody. It's really mentally for myself and mentally for everybody else to see when I step on a field, and I could be playing or not. I'm in my freshman year. So this is my time to learn, after all the people before me, and get stronger and faster, stuff like that, mentally, physically, more as a man. And just seeing the smiles that people really like see in the background is what gets me the most, because that's what really touches me, to see a lot of people proud about all the hard work I put in. And I've had days I'm out here running by myself and I collapse because I'm like, do I keep doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Do Who's gonna notice? And coach, Ote was the biggest part of that, and my other, my mom and stuff like that told me personally. And Coach Ben Cruson was one of the biggest people in my life. He's probably one of the biggest coaches in my life. He taught me, because I went from actually, I played soccer for a year. It's a known fact by Logan. I played soccer for 1 year, and I went to football.
Uh,
He told me, I have nothing but high expectations from you and nothing less, and that's going to go for life. Every time you
mm-hmm.
expect less, you're never going to achieve anything you want.
Yep. Yep.
And from Coach Ote and everything like that, and Al Waters, exactly, because he told me, I used to be a hothead. With him, he met me in my 11th grade year, and he brought that, that college atmosphere to me, as Ote and everybody else, Coleman, Parker, they all brought that college atmosphere, and I was thinking, why? Why is it like this? Like, why are they really doing this right now? But I know why now. They were mentally preparing me for life and my chance to play at the next level. They were mentally preparing for me that. So they were my chance to see if they would mentally break me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
And I sit back and thank every single one of them, and from my family to friends that supported me, from everybody. Honestly, I don't know what I would do without any of them.
Man, that's awesome to hear, man. Because a lot of times in life, period, you know, sometimes not till we get older, you know, we continue to get older. We think back on times, just like as you said, you know, and on what drives us. what makes us continue to work hard. I mean, you talked about being out there, like you said, it's hot, you running, you training, you getting ready, and like you said, you just see that extra motivation to push you. Stuff like that, that's what pushes you, man. So, that's great to hear. Um, well, is there a certain sport? Because, again, I always ask people this, that the couple of three-sport athletes that I know, is there one that I know obviously you love football, but did you ever have a love for either basketball or baseball more than football? That's the first question. Second, just because you might be better than one, was one of them maybe your favorite to watch, compared to another?
So my first love was baseball, from touching back to my grandfather and my uncle, living up to their expectations. Be that way. Follow their footsteps. It will lead you in the right way. Exactly. And, my grandfather's, everyone, whoever's ever actually met him, he's one of my biggest role models himself, and my uncle, which is my number one role model. They taught baseball for me to the thing. Wiffle ball, exactly, not holding it up. He would throw the wiffle ball, the one that curves all the time,
Yeah,
throw it as fast as he could. And he was
yeah.
like, do you want to be better? And I was like, of course I do. Like, I want to be like you. And he was like, okay, then learn to hit it. And
Hmm.
sometimes we would, toss it a little bit because you know how fast wiffle balls go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It sucks.
yeah.
Baseball was my number one love, and it's completely opposite now because it was baseball number one, basketball number two, and football third. And now I'm going to college for football. Basketball is the one I remember, and baseball was the last one.
Mm.
And entirely up to that point, obviously that I love football as much. I wanted to be just like him, that same way, but in a different sport.
Okay, got you. Got you.
So yeah, baseball was number one love from all my teammates from Little League, Junior League, Legion, high school, AAU, like travel ball, all that. From baseball
Mhm.
and everything, all the coaches and everything I've ever had, which my grandfather coached me, coach them. They taught me there's a good side of life, but there's also a part to get really serious. Have fun, do
Mhm.
great, work hard, and to, when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Mhm.
And listen, from all that, they just learned it. In my opinion, I think baseball is my least talented
Mhm.
because I feel as if I put the less work as I should have, like compared to the other two. From Marty's practices, they were ones.
Say that again.
I,
Say that
I
again. I know.
Marty's. They want to play for Marty. You better be ready to work. Marty will
That's
change
right.
change your program. He's one of my
That's right.
favorite coaches. He's one of my favorite people. And from the whole football team and everything like that, it's you know I'm just blessed. Honestly, just blessed to have everybody that's actually been here for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's good. That's good. Now sticking with baseball for a second. We gonna get to football. Don't worry. Now I know you're a pitcher and also an infielder. If I understand you, I know you didn't get to play your senior year. You was gonna be shortstop with COVID and everything, and then also second base. Let me know some pitches. Your favorite pitch to throw in baseball, and then and also tell me the key to swinging a double play, because you had a couple double plays I was reading about too, as well. So just tell me the key in turning the double play in your favorite pitch to throw.
um, you want to go most successful or my favorite pitch?
Um, give me most successful. I want to know, because I know you had, if I'm not mistaken, it was 10 strikeouts was your career high in high school, unless it was a game
I
that I
think
didn't get to.
I think that was against Parkside. I think
Yeah,
that was against Parkside.
yeah, yeah.
Um, my favorite, like my most successful, would probably be my fastball because like I would use it majority of the time.
Mhm.
My curveball slash slider was it worked to an extent until like I would cut it off up here, not all the way down here, which we've seen it go in the dirt. And I feel like we'll go back to the Parkside game. My best pitch was my fastball, is
Mhm.
because it was just mentally and I was on,
Mhm.
on. And then like my weakest part, like the double plays, right? We'll get to
Mhm.
that. Tyler Harding. I played second base. That was I played
Dollar
second
Park, yeah.
base. Exactly. We turned I don't know how many double plays that year, but from me flipping to him, you know his stats. You know how good he was in high school and everything like that. One of my favorite baseball players I ever played with, and how he turned double plays was smooth. Like I could come to the point, I could flip it, and he already have it. And the turning the double play thing is it's not necessarily the skill part. It's just a connection you have with your second like middle fielder, the second baseman to the shortstop. If you're on the same page, is like because I played when I played second with Tyler, I moved to short, so I ended up playing with a couple, a different second baseman. So Shamar Young, Tommy Crane played there sometimes. Jay Dewey played there a couple of games. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I grew that connection the entire week before. I was like, catch that ball, I'm here for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's your reaction time from it. If I get the ball and he's not ready, there's no double play is going to be there. Off the bat is when you decide, right when that ball hits is when you decide to come over. Obviously there's a little trickery and stuff like that, and do some fancy stuff, but it's all about connection with a teammate, honestly. The chemistry you have.
I'm glad you said I'm glad you actually said that, because actually that's what I was looking for, and that's what I figured. Obviously, like I said, I told you I was trash in baseball. That wasn't my sport. But I watched and I realized the connection you have to have. And would you say that helped you in football? Because I know, your senior year, the connection you had with John Henry, the quarterback, the work you guys put in off the field. The connection you guys had. Tell me a little bit about the connection you guys had your senior year and breaking the record.
That connection grew back in Pop Warner. My first quarterback ever, in my opinion, was John Henry, coached by Ben Cruson.
Mm-hmm.
John Henry, we grew that connection entirely. We've always been really good friends to this day. He actually is supposed to be touring here soon, and yeah, as of what I heard. The connection grew back in Pop Warner from Ben Cruson letting us know because I played. There wasn't really not many receivers, but I played tight end then. So a lot of the things was I forgot the play. I wish I could remember what it was called because I remember Coach Ben and John always talking to me about it. But it was like kind of like a straight go. It's kind of like the same pattern from CSD.
Mm-hmm.
But that connection grew on, and then coming into high school, he was a year younger than me. So I went into high school. And he was a freshman when he got into high school. I was a sophomore, going from Tyler Harding to Jai Confer, which are both great quarterbacks. And coming in that playoff game when John stepped in, his first touchdown thrown was to me.
Oh, wow.
And that that automatically brought back memories to myself.
Yeah.
And through high school, from private workouts to working with Derek, from Parker pressuring us in practice to us always throwing one-on-ones on scout offense. And personally, I didn't like scout offense. And Coach Al got on me a couple times about it, which was reasonable. And it kind of just grew connection about repetition. That was the biggest thing with us. We had the chemistry as a person because we hung out all the time. We've always slung the rock to each other. But the repetition of having it, and growing his confidence and stuff like that as the quarterback he is, which, he's the other half of the record. That's not just my record. He threw the ball to me.
I like that.
Half that record's his, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously couldn't do it without him. Love him to death. And hopefully one day we can continue one more time in the college. But, the future never knows. But I can't wait. But the connection, thank Ben Cruson for starting it, honestly, and Coach Parker for continuing it.
Yeah, and that's awesome, man. That's great to hear. And talk about you mentioned them, but Derek Beasley, your strength and conditioning coach, the work he helped you put in. Talk a little bit about just some of the work you put in, whether it was a certain drill maybe you didn't like, or whether it was weights or just maybe just share something about just how you continue to, because you always from what I hear had the hands. I heard about how good the hands you had, but also you're one of those players that you went and got the ball. You go get the ball. So I know you continue to get stronger and stuff like that. So just talk a little bit about the workout.
So for all of you who don't know, if you want to work out with him, you better be ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's no cakewalk with his workouts. Once you say you want to work out with him, his job is to make you the best player he can possibly do.
Mm-hmm.
The fire is going to grow out of him. He taught me everything my senior year. I went from a 4-touchdown receiver to 4 to 5 touchdown receiver to 11 touchdown receiver and record holder and stuff like that. He changed mentally. He knew the constructive criticism to get that out of my head, to take it from the footwork drills that got me faster to he designed, a little bit of the weightlifting stuff, but mentally was continue to go from before practices. I used to get out of school at like 11. He told me, he'd be on his lunch break, go outside. We're going to do some drills for an hour for my lunch break. He believed in me even more than I did, which got me to buy into him.
Yeah.
As a stubborn kid from a hothead to like go into his workouts, sometimes, I'm like, damn, these are hard. I really continue to doing this. And I'm sitting in my head like, I know I can.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, I know I can do it. And I continue to keep doing it over and over again. And, he dealt that fire to me from knowing my whole past life and building off of it to every workout. This was every single day, from beach workouts to 6 and 7 in the morning, Ocean City, some sail winds, stuff like that, to early morning workouts before dawn, when it's dark, before practice, after games. He would have phone calls with me. He kind of treated me the same way how it's going to be here.
Yeah.
Mentally, he taught me more of a man, as a lot of people know. He taught me as a man from the sports side to how to carry it off when you get off, he educated me a lot. That was one of the biggest educators to social media, to promote yourself, promote everything. He'll do the same thing and stuff like that. So if you're willing to, put the work in, definitely go to him. You will definitely see change. Buy in. It's not going to happen the first 5 days, but his saying, it's every day. You got to go every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You buy in, and hard work. This isn't just with him. You got to hard work by yourself. The more you hard work by yourself is what's going to grow the fire in you and get you anxious to do more. Personally, after this, I'm probably about to go lift. I think around whenever it's ended, I'm going to go lift or something or run.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if you're going to buy in,
Mm-hmm.
you will see change. You will see change.
Yeah. Like you said, it's all about the work. It's all about the work you put in. I mean, at the end of the day, and that's what, like I said, that I can tell this by the conversation I've had with you, from what I hear about others. Like you said, one thing that everybody, it all comes back around, with, even when I talked to Marty, Coach Marty, first thing he said was, oh man, he works hard. You got, like you said, you got to kick him out the gym. Football, same thing, To talk about, I know you're talking about the work that you and Derek put in. Obviously, you played. I remember you were telling me you got into the playoff game. I think it was as a freshman, and I know as a sophomore. You were playing all three sports. You playing basketball, football, and baseball. How tough is that, man? Playing all three sports, at a high level like that. Because again, it's one thing to play. It's one thing to again, you were exceeding, on all three. I mean, how tough is that on your body physically, and how tough is it mentally as well?
All about the preparation you do before and after. It's what you eat before games. It's mentally how much sleep you get before the night. Prepare 2 days before so you're never late. 3 days before. Personally, I prepared on Tuesdays, Mondays, Tuesdays, right when we put the pads on to start the week. Study from each corner I'm playing against, to what safety, to knowing John's thing, knowing their routes, other people's routes on my thing. Because the more you prepare yourself, the more it's going to succeed for you. You got to, prepare yourself mentally from eating. That was the biggest weakness I had in lifting. That was my biggest weaknesses, which I think I've grown a little bit, gotten a little bit bigger and stuff like that. That was one of the biggest things. And I started to get a little bit motivated in the gym my senior year, but coronavirus really got me to click. It took my baseball away, and the next sport is football. And I was like, you're going to college for it. It's time to get ready for it. So shout out to, one of my best friends, Ethan Bloodsworth, his whole family. They're considered my second family. I thank them to death for everything they've ever done for me. And he used to have a little weight room and stuff over there, because I consider them family. In my opinion, they're family to me. They're family to me. So, he had a little weight room, and I would come there and do the little chest press and stuff like that. And they would tell me what to eat, what to do to get bigger, because he's a big dude. Like, he's a stocky dude, one of my best friends. Love him to death, again. And he taught me the way of, this. It's not about how much weight you're doing; it's what reps you're doing with it. And I always thought hit hard weight and watch results, but cutting back just a little bit of weight, that's what helped me, and that's what helped me get a little bit stronger and get satisfied with. I knew I could jump a little bit quick, but how about combine and continue to grow? I'm personally nowhere, in my opinion. I always sit every day thinking I'm not ready for something. Every day I wake up and bust my ass to make sure it's not to, Coach Parker always preaches this, and I remember this. It was saying to be immortal. That was the biggest thing he used to preach. And he just said it in a couple interviews, to be immortal, be remembered, not just by the fans, but just about the program and making them, showing that you realize how much you put dedication into it. And most likely to prepare for it, in my 3 ways, is sleep, which I love. I love sleeping, eating, and working hard. No one's going to tell you what to do. No one's going to tell you to get up in the morning. No one's going to tell you to go to the gym, go work out, nothing like that. No one's even going to tell you to go to practice on time if you don't want to. It's mentally, when are you going to do it? When are you ready to do it?
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to have people that push me to it. To it. Like I see, I'm anxious now. I'm anxious now to get on the field. Mm-hmm. I'm in there working out every day, see a new version of me each and every day.
Mm-hmm. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Good. I could tell you've held on to those life lessons and the things that, people have taught you or told you, man. So, continue to hold on to those things, because, like I said, I can see the hunger and I see the drive in you. I could just tell. I could just tell. Talk to me a little bit about first time the record. If I'm not mistaken, you guys were playing Boston in the playoffs, in a great season for Cambridge this past year. You guys won the first playoff game, the first away playoff game since 1999. So it's a great year. But talk to me about first time the record. I know you said you wanted to break it that time, but you tied it, if I'm not mistaken, with a 46-yard touchdown pass and a 21-yard touchdown pass.
Mm-hmm.
But talk to me first about time, and then we'll get to breaking after that.
So, yes, personally, I did want the record because it was something great to have, and it was an honor to hold it after Jake Coleman, which was one of the reasons he brought me in, and
for people know who Jake Coleman is, or anyone that might not know.
He was my ex-head coach before Parker. From 9th grade to 11th grade, he was my head coach. So, I think he stepped down in my 11th grade year, and Parker was head coach, but he was assistant coach.
Yeah.
And, great guy. Taught me a lot, had some off-season workouts, stuff like that. And tying the record, obviously, my thing is I want to win, regardless of the situation. The ring looks better than a record. I don't have I have a ball for it, but I think a ring, you'll always know you're a part of something. Mm-hmm. I know I'm a part of the team that broke my record, which I say is half and half with me and John. Mm-hmm. We can spread it into thirds if you want to continue. My whole teammates, my family, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not just entirely me. I'm not going to be the one to take full grant of it, because from the city of Cambridge to even other cities, stuff and like that, from my family, friends, all that, they got me to, they've supported me to the thing, to work hard and stuff like that. Wake up for them workouts, support me each and every day. And that's their thing to me. And when tying the record, it was a thing to know that, there's nothing to done, but you work for this. Mm-hmm. I've known of this record since I got to high school, and it's something I've always pursued for, not directly for the record, because obviously we want to win. My favorite thing was playing with my friends, stuff like that, the teammates. I'll never forget. It's a time I can't get back, and I wish I could. And I've only been in college for 2 months.
It went fast, man.
And tying the record, it showed a lot about hard work from me and Derek, to knowing that's what happened. Yeah. That's an accomplishment in me, even though I wish I had it at Boston in my last home game. But, some things just don't go your way, but you got to adapt. And, fortunately I was able to break it at Edmonton, and when I scored the touchdown at Edmonton and broke the record, I turned around and saw the entire city of Cambridge and my sideline going nuts. That's what hit me the most. That's what got me excited. Like, yeah, let's get it. Like, let's go. Like, let's finish this game. Let's continue this, keep continuing this, momentum and stuff like that. So, tying it, it's an honor to, even hold a record by Jake because, from a big program from player to coaching, he has a plaque in the Hall of Fame. So having that record from him is an honor, and having his praise when I did was such an honor as well. And being able to play, another thing is we'll touch on the field. The field was after Doug Fleetwood, actually, and everyone knows who that is. If you go to Cambridge, everyone knows who that is. In my opinion, the greatest coach to come out of Cambridge. Put Cambridge, that historic program, as what people know, and knowing that I played on that field and something that he had was a big thing for me as well. And, he's had talks with me before as a man, as sports as well, because he coaches and stuff like that. And, he's taught me about, he loves my work and ethic. It's an honor to be even speaking to him, honestly, to even have contact with him, and stuff like that, as someone, from my high school, having all the, the historic people before me coming to praise me, it really put my heart in it. One day I could be a part of all of them, which it's my goal.
Yeah. Well, you already giving back, man. Just by being on here, like you said. I mean, you kept thanking me earlier about coming on here, but like you said, you doing me a service, man, by coming on here and letting people hear just a little bit of your story. Now, before we get off of here, whenever that is we got to do a redo next season. Make sure we do a redo. Hopefully by that time we can do it in person or something. But we definitely going.
Oh, of course. I would love it in person.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for sure. But one thing that stands out to me, and you talked about PSD and people that love you and support you after you breaking that record, being there, and like I told you when we talked offline, is that I first knew about it, like I said, by seeing it on the news that I think you had either tied it or you was getting ready to tie. So I knew that y'all was playing in the playoff game to break it. And like you said, and I'm from East, I'm a Warrior, but I was rooting for you. When you get close to something like that, it's the Eastern Shore. It ain't CSD versus Easton versus North Carolina versus Queen Anne. Man,
it's a shore.
It's a shore, man. That's right. It's a shore thing, man. So I salute you, man. And I seen the picture of your teammate picking you up, right after that. And that's the epitome of what everything was, man. Like you kept saying, you did it, but it was a record for your team, for your quarterback, for your family, all the people that helped
the city and everything.
Yeah, man. So, man, you one thing I love about you already, man, you're just a humble kid. I know you're not a kid no more, but you're a humble young man. You're a humble young man, and I like that about you, because just from the conversations we've had, I just see that, So like I said, man, you come from great foundation, great stock, man. So just keep up the good work. What about y'all season as a whole? I mean, you guys did some amazing things at Cambridge your senior year. I mean, you even your junior year, y'all had a great year. I think you went 7-3 your junior year, if I'm not mistaken. But how was it falling up short? I know you played Dunbar and lost to Dunbar, but I mean, how was it? The season as a whole. As far as football goes.
So, beginning of the season, fell up short to Perryville my 11th grade year, and we're coming back. It's time, we're all working, Me, the captains, right? Me, Khalid, Malik, I consider all of us captains because it was such a well-connected team. There's 4 captains that stands out, usually seniors. We put the Khalid Beasley, Avery Nichols, Noah Presley. We put in the thing. We're going for this. This is our last season in high school. It's all or nothing. The people below us bought in, from the juniors to sophomores the freshmen, all that, bought in. From people, even from varsity JV, they bought into the thing and what coaches are saying. We had a great coaching staff around us that got us to where we were. We're only go as far as our coaches were. If they didn't push us so much and running them hundreds, which drove me crazy, which here you run a lot, and it's only gonna get you better, which you buy into your coaches, and without them putting that foundation around us that there's nothing else less than winning and continuing to be immortal, which Coach Parker always said before every game. He always said it, not people knew what it meant, but not truly, to be immortal. To be on all of our kids' dreams was not to just be, fan favorites, not to just be city favorites. It's to get on the poster right when you walk in. When you walk off the field and say, if you walk in from the concession side, not concession side, it's like the regular entrance, you look and see a big banner. We'd work out on the field on Thursdays before Fridays, and always coach would point to the banner. That's our drive to get put on the banner as the greats, which Dud Fleet would coach, which was always put in our brains of how historic and, how legendary he really is. And doing that, he would always point that be immortal on the team. That was our thing, was to get on the board. Maybe we weren't, we fell up short, which we all know. Maybe stuff happens. We were a hardworking team. We fell up short. We might not be on the state champs, but we're up on that board. I've been on that board from Baysides to regionals and all that. We on that board, and that's what it is. And people are going to buy in. And I know the boys this year are going to come and do the same thing. You got great leaders on there from like Jason Roberts, Tim Johnson, Donald Banks, Ira, all of them. And they're great leaders, and John as well, stuff like that. And they're going to continue the same tradition as we did. That's the thing, is continue the tradition that since Fleetwood started to Coleman to Parker, which is always going to happen, that CSD is known for, continue the tradition of winning. And, some years, some things don't go as planned, but that's all about how the players are going to buy in. The coaches are brought in right before the season starts, from workouts to 7-on-7, stuff like that. We bought in, and I know everything's going to, we bought in, go hard as the coaches. The fans brought in, the whole city brought in, even the whole WBOC and everything. That team is only successful as what I had. From the coaches and everything, without them, none of this would have been possible. Supporting me, we're all tired, picking each other up. That's what's, in my opinion, is the most remembering thing I always remember in my life, is how close we really were from getting out of class to going straight out to practice. We all have some hiccups, stuff like that. People be late, make it unacceptable, so nobody was ever late. Have been late one time. Never happened again, because we bought into what we want to do. And, I can't wait to see the future of CSD, and I'll be rooting for them anywhere.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Like you said, again, everything comes back right to hard work, man. Like you said, and like you said, you were around great coaches and great people that instilled that in you, and you're continuing to do that now. So that's awesome. I do want to switch real quick before I give you my my NFL question that we talked about. I do want to switch real quick to basketball. I know you talked about playing for Marty, briefly, but talk to me a little bit about basketball, man, and where your shot coming from. I mean, that's my first love. I was really great year, and the opponent you went against is slipping my mind a little bit. But as a sophomore, you came in. You might have even forgot this. Y'all were down 11-2. You came in, hit 2 or 3 threes, tied it at 14 to get Cambridge going. That was your sophomore year. Your junior year, I read a stat that you might even forgot about, that towards, and this is probably around like February, and I'm assuming the streak continued, but you had a 3 in about every game that you played in as a junior. And I told you I seen you as a senior. I seen you against Easton, and I seen you a couple other games. And man, you can shoot it. I mean, you really can shoot it from the corner, but you can shoot it from anywhere. So just tell me a little bit about how you became such a good shooter. I'm sure it's from getting them shots blocked, as a kid. But let me know about how you became such a good shooter, and also just tell me about what you accomplished on the basketball court last year for Cambridge, man, because you guys surprised a lot of people being North Bayside champs.
So the shot came from, other than getting blocked and stuff like that, youth league. Cambridge, Mason's Lane has a rec and park league from Dorchester County, like Park and Rec. And there's some ballers that come out of there from Ralph, Davion Ralph to Keyshawn Potter, all of them. Vajon, which is, in my opinion, like he's one of the best basketball players I've ever played with, personally. Him and Davion and Keyshawn, they're all great. Everyone remembers the shot that Keyshawn hit against Easton. So yeah. And learning after them, they were such great leaders. And Vajon's younger than me, and he's a great leader. He's a great leader. Since he stepped on the court, he was a great leader back in middle school, like, in the Rec and Parks League. From when he stepped on, you can tell he has that mentality to be a leader. He accepts nothing less. This year, coming from the shots, Ryan Fart, I'm pretty sure you probably know who that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember one game, I came in as a sophomore. Nobody really knew me. Just a white boy, could shoot a little bit. We were going back to back. Back to back to back to back.
I remember that.
He got the upper hand. And I talk to him about it all the time. He hit one right in my face before the buzzer. He was the best shooter, one of the best shooters I ever played against. I talk to him all the time. I tell him all the time he's a better shooter than me, which I personally think he is.
He's a great guy.
Great guy too. Yeah, one of the, I can always come to him about anything in life, sports and stuff like that. Always support me. Great family and everything like that. And going after him, I was like, okay, from getting blocked to, going back to back, it's that repetition of what you do from the wrist and everything like that. Marty has put us through a whole workout from free throws, which is his biggest thing. Was free throws. His biggest thing was free throws. Shoot while you're tired.
Yep.
You miss one. If you miss one free throw, down and back, full sprint, down and back. He said, you're going to make at least 2 in a row before you get a water break. That's how we end practice. I think it was some days he would either do 2 in a row, 1 in a row. But at the end of practice, random, we're all gassed out, because Marty's workouts are like that. But that's only to prepare us for the season at the base side and stuff like that, playoffs. And at the end of practice, everyone's lined up. We're thinking we're ready to leave. He'll call out Logan, Vajon, Corey, Tyrone, all of them. Even Alex Hughes, he's a big student on the team, we're not really much of a shooter, but, gets in there and gets put stuff like that. All of them, from every one of them, Deshaun Jackson, he would call them randomly. Everyone has to make a free throw before we leave. We can sit there for an hour. We can sit there for 35 minutes, 10 minutes if everyone makes it. We can sit there for 2 hours. If you're not making it, and he always said saying, there's no expectation to do anything less. Yeah. Buy in. And, we've had them things, and Coach Coach Marty to, everybody. Teach me, from, I used to have a couple bad travel. I used to come over here and travel a little bit, getting to the baseline, which opened up my game, which understanding the basics of it,
right.
Coach Marty's probably, he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot, just not, become a better shooter and a player, to become a man, in my opinion, to teach me how to become a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he always said that. He was like, we're going to prepare you. We're not just going to prepare you for this season and what you're going to do in front of everybody. It's about what you're going to do in life. Dictate about how you carried this team, how you had the mentality and carried in the real life, and nothing, you'll have nothing but great things come in your life. Which I think about it every single day. I'm thankful to have my junior and senior year.
That's it. Like I say, we had a blast last Tuesday. Yeah, when he was on. So like I said, if anybody didn't see that episode with Marty Bailey on, it's on YouTube, or on the Facebook page. Check it out. But great guy. You're right. You're right, Logan. Great guy. So and like you said, that hard work that you already had, he just continued to, do that as well, because that's how he came up off of hard work. So, and one shooter to another shooter, as well. You could shoot the basketball real good. So,
and don't.
So could he. So.
He'll tell you. I don't know if he's gonna tell you or not, but he used to come in and workouts with us. Oh, he was in there shooting with us. He come in there. He'll come in there and play 5-on-5 with us too. And he over here baking us. He's up and running up and down the field. I'm like, he'll make a thing. Say, you gonna match me? You gonna?
I'll have to when I get off tonight, I'll have to send you a couple articles that I got of him, so you can see a couple of his stats from when he was playing in high school. Man, he was the truth, man. Yeah, it was a truth.
That's what I'm saying. Yep. He'll go up and make a 3 and be like, you gonna match me, Logan, or what? I'm like, damn. Love this It's just what it is.
Yeah.
And he never taught about no selfish ball. He said, you play team ball, your record's going to show.
Oh, yeah.
Team
Mm-hmm.
over that. No selfish ball plays. And I miss a 3, and he'll take me out just to show you, like, your expectations are high. We don't expect anything less. You're going to, you'll sit, get your breather, mentally get yourself right, and go back in. That's being a man because nothing's going to be easy, Shit's going to hit the fan, and how are you going to react off of it? You're going to mentally break down, and you're going to be like, okay, let's go. Like, let's mentally get right. And
that's it.
Something like that. And that impacted our record. I think my junior year, we went 17-3, and then we went 18-2 my senior year. But that was a big praise. That was our biggest thing. Be better than last year. And, a lot of thing is, we were a great team in my junior year. From Ralph to Keyshawn and all of them, like, from Alex Clayton, stuff like that, everybody. Everyone. And that was the thing. Our whole team was to be better than them, and we went 18-2. It was against Easton. It was against Easton. It was 18-2. We would have been 17-3 again if we didn't beat Easton. Which great game. It's always great to play Easton.
Yeah, that rivalry is like no other. The Easton Cambridge rivalry in any sport, no matter if it's football, basketball, baseball, that rivalry is like none other.
Exactly. My roommate goes to Easton. Joe Hickey. Really good. One of my best friends.
Yeah.
Banner's hanging right there. Banger's hanging right there. But I'm all CSD. I'm sorry. I'm all CSD.
Look, I'm ready to get you out of here after this question. And like I said, we definitely gotta have a redo. But give me your top 5 receivers in the NFL currently. I remember that's something I told you we got to talk about. Give me your top 5 receivers. And again, there's your top 5. So no matter what I think, give me your top 5 receivers.
Okay, so as I told you before, I'm wearing one of the numbers, and this is off of my personal one. Would you like me to go 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Go 5 to 1 if you don't mind. Let's do it like that.
Okay. My opinion. Actually, I don't think he's in my top 5 because I put somebody over him, but it's Adam Thielen. I'm wearing number 19 this year, so.
I had a feeling. Mr. Thielen. Yeah. He got hands. Yeah. He's got hands. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They used to call me that in high school. It's pretty funny. Based off of this year, Stephon Diggs, Maryland, love him. Been watching from high school, college, and stuff like that. Let's see.
But you want to
Michael Thomas? No, Michael Thomas at 4, because that's just off of last year.
Yeah, that's fine. You can go off last year. I know it's been an early season. COVID's been crazy and all that, so you can go off of last year. So Diggs is 5. And
Michael Thomas is 4. Michael Thomas is 4. Let's see. So people might think this is crazy, but it's Keenan Allen. If you watch his footwork, it is amazing.
We friends for life. We friends for life. We friends for life now.
I'm not gonna put him in there, but Mike Evans is too. He's disgusting. No one talks about it.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen. I mean, I'll put Keenan Allen 4, Michael Thomas 3, just because of the stat line. But his footwork is amazing.
Thank you. I have a couple of buddies, actually both of my cousins I work out with Saturday mornings, and I always tell them about the greatness of Keenan Allen, his route tree, his hands. It don't matter if it's Justin Herbert, Phillip Rivers, Taylor. He's gonna be consistent.
Yeah, exactly. People might hate me for this one, but Julio's 2, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Julio's 2, and I'll tell you why. Because number 1 is DeAndre Hopkins. I literally witnessed him because my uncle is a Texans fan. He's pissed because he went to the Cardinals. He went a whole season without dropping the ball.
LeBron.
Obviously, if it wasn't off of that season, because he never dropped a pass, and he was the most targeted receiver in the league. And I know I'm missing somebody, but this is just my current favorite. He never dropped the pass. So, but we'll actually switch it. Actually, I'll do it. Julio's the best in the league. Then it's DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas.
Hey, you can keep D-Hop. You can keep D-Hop 1 because, hey, D-Hop was 1 for me for a long time. He might still be 1. I mean, like you said, D-Hop, Julio, Michael Thomas, to me, you can interchange any of those 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? It's all about opinion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was gonna say like, DeAndre's just
his hands, man, he
hit
catches
from
everything,
everything,
multiple
every single
quarterbacks
thing.
and everything.
Exactly. But I'm not a big OBJ fan. I'm an Eagles fan, so when he was on the Giants,
Yeah,
I don't care.
yeah,
I'm not with it.
he might need
I'm
to
not
change
with
the
it.
scene. We'll see. Baker not giving him the ball like he should, so he might need to change the scene. He not in the top 5 right now. He's not even close. OBJ.
No,
So
he's not.
I agree with you
He's
on that.
not.
Yeah,
Had him in fantasy.
yeah.
That's why he's not in my
I
top
like your
5.
list. Yeah,
Because if you
I
because
like
I'm a
your list.
receiver. So if you
Mm-hmm.
understand the feet, like I like Chad Ochocinco just because of his feet. Because his
Uh-huh.
feet, his footwork was unmatched. Unmatched. If you're gonna like really be like a good receiver, it's the feet. Like everyone's tall, stuff like that, but the feet is just Keenan Allen's feet is
Yeah. Hey, I'm
just
gonna take that from you. Like you said, you the expert on that one. Like I said, I've always liked Keenan. So like you said, I'm not mad at that list. I'm not mad at that list at all. So like you said, D Hop, Julio, 1, 2, however you want to do it. Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, and Diggs. What do you? Let me
right
ask you about
now.
this. What you feel about Tyreek Hill? Every year he gets better and better. He kind of gets left out. I used to leave him out all the time too, but every year it
I
seems like
left him out. I'm not even gonna lie. I left him out. I forgot all about him. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I have him in fantasy. He's coming up right now.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I'm big in
Right
fantasy.
now.
I got
Yeah,
about 5
but I
leagues.
mean, yeah, Tyreek Hill's nice. Like he's great, but I gotta go with Stephon. Obviously, Stephon is right. If we're gonna be real technical, Stephon's #1 in the league right now. If we're going off of yards and DK Metcalf, we ain't talking about none of them.
He had a DK. Hey, I like DK tough. DK's tough.
DK, not
Big.
yeah. DK's tough. I got him in
And
fantasy.
yeah, me
I
too. I
got him
got
in
him in
fantasy,
league too. Yep. Me too.
and Russell, and I got
Yep.
Russell.
Yep.
But
We're
yeah,
gonna have to talk. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna have to try to get together next year in one of them leagues or something.
oh yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah,
We're
for
gonna
sure.
have to. Yeah,
For
gonna have
sure.
to.
But look, man, I ain't gonna hold you. I done held you longer than I was supposed to with the technical difficulties and all that stuff, man. But what I want to say, first and foremost, for you and for everybody that's listening now, was going to listen. Like I told you, the biggest reason I do this is, one, to encourage people, two, to give people their flowers while they can still smell them. And you're one of the guys that is one of the greats from the shore already. As a young man, you accomplished a lot of great things. People, look up to you. You got a great head on your shoulders. You like you said, you work hard. So man, just keep striving for the best in life, period. And like you said, I know you study in business administration, same thing I study. So we talked about that. So you got my number. If you ever need me, and we definitely got to do this. Again, and do it right next time.
Yeah.
For
Oh
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Headset on, everything.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Anything,
Yes,
anything
sir.
else you want to say before you
Everybody supported me. Like, thank you, and I love you.
man,
Like everybody proud, the city of Cambridge and everybody. To anybody that like really wants to, really wants to consider everything, put the hard work in. No one's gonna take it from you. No one is gonna tell you that you can't do something but yourself. You're gonna be your biggest critic. You cut it off the sky's the limit. The support system will be there. Everyone has one. Maybe in different varieties and stuff like that. But keep working. There's always, and I live by this every day. There's always going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. You just gotta find it. You're never gonna find it unless you walk to it. It's gonna continue to be dark. So,
I like that, man.
everybody, blessed for the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you, honestly.
I'm blessed, man. Again, I appreciate it. Again, man. Thanks for holding on, man. Like I said, sorry about the technical difficulties, but we'll do it better next time. And like I said, man, this we'll make sure we stay in touch for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, man. Real Sports Fan Podcast. We out of here. I appreciate everybody tuning in Season 3, episode 37, Logan, Middleton. This was great. Appreciate everybody. I'll shoot you a text, man. I appreciate it. Peace.